Uncle Wang led Lin Mo to the room where the auction items were stored. The room had many shelves. Some of the paint had peeled off, making them look mottled. However, their surface had been polished well. They were smooth and shiny. It was probably Uncle Wang's handiwork. Only a few of the shelves were filled with items, making the room seem somewhat empty. Lin Mo was confident that one day, this room would be filled with a dazzling array of items. Lin Mo followed Uncle Wang to the front row of the shelves. There were a number of items. Young master, these are the 4 best items I've obtained in the past 2 days. First is the worry-free grass, a low-grade tier 4 herb. It can treat chronic illnesses and also help in cultivation. This grass was picked by a young man in the ancient forest nearby. It's effective for cultivators below tier 6 foundation establishment and helps them reach the peak of tier 6. The grass on the counter looked no different from the wild grass by the roadside. It was very ordinary, but it had a few extra leaves. Most of the people here were below tier 6 and many of them could use it. Lin Mo believed that it would catch most people's attention. The next item is a 4th-rank top-grade martial art. If Lin Mo was unable to bring out the tier 5 top-grade martial art, Uncle Wang was going to use this piece of article as a replacement. It should be fine. At least, not everyone would be angry. Uncle Wang got lucky. This article was originally someone else's family heirloom, but due to their family's decline, they had no choice but to sell it to clear off their debt. Coincidentally, they heard about the upcoming auction. Thus, they reluctantly sent it over. Lin Mo casually flipped through the piece of article. It's quite a good sword technique. Moving on. This is a tier 3 top-grade Chi Essence pill. I've obtained it from the most outstanding local alchemist. It can quickly recover and nurture one's vitality as well as solidify their foundation. There were also alchemists around this place, but their level and strength were not high. A tier 3 top-grade Chi Essence pill should already be beyond their expectations. Lastly, here's a tier 3 top-grade black fish egg. It's from the leader of the Dragon Tiger mercenary group residing at Blackwater Lake. Originally, he planned to sell it when he arrived in the next town. However, when he heard that an auction was going to be held here, he immediately sent it here instead. The small fish egg was placed in a transparent glass container. It was as thick as ink and did not have any impurities. In fact, it looked just like a black jade. There were also a few second-rank miscellaneous items. Nonetheless, they still exceeded Lin Mo's expectations. Since this place was remote, Lin Mo did not expect to come across any good items. However, there were actually decent resources. The key was knowing how to excavate them. It was rare for there to be an auction. To boot, a tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique would be the finale. Almost everyone decided to join in and brought out their best items. Besides, the handling fee was very little. If they could sell off their items for a decent price, then they would make a huge profit. With these items, Lin Mo began to plan for tomorrow's auction. Other than those 4 items, there was still the tier 5 Dragon Elephant Fist technique. Lin Mo had already learned this technique. He could clearly remember it in his mind. Hence, he could auction it off. The auction house's reputation would definitely increase. Tomorrow, we'll auction off the 2nd and 3rd rank items first. The last item will be the tier 5 cultivation technique. Uncle Wang nodded and said, that's for sure. If we start with the tier 5 cultivation technique, there wouldn't be any suspense. Once people were heated up, the auction would truly begin. Suddenly, Uncle Wang thought of something and said, oh right. Young master, we still lack an auctioneer. Don't you think we should look for someone? After all, neither of us are suitable. Although Uncle Wang and Lin Mo were the hosts of the previous auction, they were still amateurs. Lin Mo's modern speech skills were alright, but he was no professional. It could work temporarily. However, in the long run, they needed a better solution. How could an auction not have a professional auctioneer? This only happened because Lin Mo had just arrived and did not have time to make the full preparations. Anyway, Lin Mo decided to leave this matter to Uncle Wang. Uncle Wang, I'll let you handle it. I'm willing to pay a high price to hire an auctioneer, so please keep an eye out for someone suitable. The auctioneer's skill doesn't have to be the best. That can be attained through experience. What's most important is honesty. Of course, the person also needs to be reliable as well. If the auctioneer turned out to be a thief and ended up stealing everything, Lin Mo would be in a pickle. Uncle Wang nodded. I understand. Don't worry, young master. I won't let you down. Although the decoration of the venue was simple and limited, it was enough. Everything that needed to be there was present. Many people had already arrived. Sitting at the VIP seat was the village chief. His clothes were very simple and he looked no different from an ordinary villager. There was also a kind and amiable look on his face. However, he was not to be underestimated. The aura that he inadvertently exuded was proof of it. There were a few middle-aged men in their 30s. They wore robes made of animal skin. Although it was unsure what beasts they were exactly, the material looked very good. The accessories on their bodies were also not something an ordinary person could afford. Their eyes were bright. At the same time, they emitted a murderous aura. At a glance, one could tell they spill blood to earn a living. Uncle Wang introduced, they are from the Wolf Mercenary Group and Dragon Tiger Mercenary Group. Suddenly, there was a commotion coming from the door. 4 or 5 people walked in. From the looks of it, they belonged to a mercenary group. The leader was wearing a belt made from python skin on his waist. There was a huge snake head on it. The snake still retained its ferocious and terrifying look from when it was alive. In fact, it looked as if it would come back alive in the next second. Everyone was scared and automatically made way for them. I didn't expect the leader of the snakehead mercenary group to come. As the leader sat down, it caused a small uproar. The leaders from the mercenaries group had gathered in one spot. Their gazes met and they seemed determined to win. Before the auction even started, everyone could already detect the smell of gunpowder. They could not help but sigh. The Tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique had attracted various people from the surrounding small towns. It's been a long time since Chuksan village has been this lively. Yet, it's also rare to see the leaders of these mercenary groups gather at the same place. I guess it's not unexpected. A Tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique is pretty rare. Almost everyone would be interested in it. Indeed, a top-grade Tier 5 cultivation technique was not common. This might not be considered rare in large cities, but in small towns, it was a different story. It could even be seen as extremely precious. There were quite a few forces near Chuksan village. They were evenly matched. Everyone wanted to become the overlord of this area, but they could not achieve a decisive victory. When they heard about the top-grade Tier 5 cultivation technique, they all rushed over regardless if it was true or not. Their goal was to obtain the top-grade Tier 5 cultivation technique so that they could strengthen their own forces. I wonder if this auction actually has the Tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique. So many mercenary leaders have attended. The news should be true. No one would joke about such a thing unless they were trying to sabotage themselves. Moreover, it's not a good idea to fool these mercenary leaders. If they can't bring out the item, this place will be destroyed. I wonder who will win the Tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique. Apparently, the leader of the Dragon Tiger Mercenary Group had brought along a lot of spirit stones. The Wolf Mercenary Group is also quite wealthy. Supposedly, they completed a few difficult missions a couple of days ago. Everyone was discussing among themselves. Wu Jin held the auction hammer in his hand and slowly walked onto the stage. He was the auctioneer Uncle Wang had hired. Allegedly, he was a decent person. Lin Mo planned to observe him for a period of time. If things went wrong, he would replace him. This auction has officially started. There are a total of 5 items up for grabs. The first item is a Tier 3 top-grade essence pill. Starting price is 1000 low-grade spirit stones. As soon as he finished speaking, the village chief said, 2,000 low-grade spirit stones. Lin Mo looked at the village chief without batting an eyelid. He was an upright person who guarded the village. Moreover, he had never taken anything from the villagers or used his position to make a profit. Thus, he did not have much wealth. The village chief only bid to help Lin Mo and to liven up the atmosphere. As expected, after the village chief's bid, more and more people joined in. There was no longer a need for the village chief to make further bids. The place had a proper atmosphere and the bids were getting higher and higher. 2,500 low-grade spirit stones. The leader of the Snakehead Mercenary Group, Guo Wen, made a bid. He rarely used medicinal pills. The ones he had were mostly first or second rank. Guo Wen did not expect the first item to be auctioned would be a third-rank medicinal pill. This excited him quite a bit. 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Another voice followed closely from behind. It was none other than the leader of the Dragon Tiger Mercenary Group, Li Yunfei. His eyes were basically burning as he looked at the pill on the stage. He needed it to increase his strength. Li Yunfei was the weakest leader among the 3 mercenary groups. He had just entered the 6th rank, so he urgently needed this kind of pill to consolidate his strength. The price tripled in an instant, causing many people to drop out. Only the mercenary group leaders were competing. I knew it. Ordinary people like us won't win. There's no way I could afford to compete with them. Guo Wen and Li Yunfei clearly wanted this pill. The two of them continued to go up against each other, making the atmosphere more lively. On the other hand, the leader of the Wolf Mercenary Group, Huang Keegan, stayed silent. He was the first of the 3 mercenary group leaders to reach the 6th rank and was proud of his achievement. Despite that, there was a huge gap between the 6th and 7th stages. In other words, this pill could not help him increase his strength. If one of the other 2 mercenary group leaders bought it, they would reduce the power gap between them. The advantage Huang Keegan previously had would slowly disappear. So, he decided to wait and observe the situation. If there really was a top-grade tier 5 cultivation technique, he would definitely buy it no matter the cost. In the end, the pill was bought by Guo Wen at the price of 4,000 spirit stones. It was 4 times the original price. At the same time, a system notification sounded in Lin Mo's mind. Ding! The host has successfully auctioned a tier 3 top-grade Chi Essence pill. Successfully triggered 500 times return. Obtained a tier 5 top-grade Profound Chi pill, Chaos pill. Although it was a tier 5 top-grade pill, it could not be compared to the Heavenly Recovery pill. It would not benefit Lin Mo much at the moment. Lin Mo planned to use the Chaos pill to exchange for spirit stones at the next auction. This way, he could also continue to increase the auction house's reputation. Meanwhile, Wu Jin was smiling. The first item for auction had already given him great confidence. It was likely that the subsequent items would be better. The second item is a low-grade tier 4 herb, worry-free grass. Starting price is 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Wu Jin carefully took out a tray. There were a few tender green leaves on it. They looked no different from ordinary grass, but everyone could smell its faint refreshing medicinal fragrance. Even the starting price is not something ordinary people like us can afford. The starting price put off many people. On the other hand, Li Yunfei was overjoyed. He was somewhat glad that he did not win the bid for the Chi Essence pill. To him, the worry-free grass was better because its effects and medicinal properties were more gentle. It was more suitable for him to consolidate his 6th stage foundation establishment strength. Moreover, the worry-free grass was useless to Huang Qigan. Thus, he would not place a bid. As for Guo Wen, he had just spent a large portion of his spirit stones, so he should not be buying the herb. Other than those two, Li Yunfei believed that no one would be able to outbid him. Guo Wen felt a little bit regretful in his heart. Forget it, the Chi Essence pill isn't bad. I still have a chance at getting the tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique. I'll save my spirit stones for now. Everything went exactly as Li Yunfei predicted. He ended up buying the worry-free grass for 6,000 low-grade spirit stones. Ding! The host has successfully auctioned a low-grade tier 4 worry-free grass. Successfully triggered 1,000 times return. Obtained a low-grade tier 7 worry-free fruit. The worry-free fruit was a product of the worry-free grass. In fact, it was the essence of the entire herb. It was even rarer and did not have any side effects. Not only could it quickly heal wounds, but it could also help the user attain the next level. The third item is a tier 4 top-grade martial art, Frost Sword Technique. Starting price is 5,000 low-grade spirit stones. Uncle Wang took out a wooden box. It was made of high-quality agar wood. One could see that it was quite old. The lines on it were almost indistinguishable and the surrounding edges were also somewhat off. Traces of time were revealed everywhere. There was also a faint layer of blue ice crystal covering the external layer of the box. The moment Uncle Wang opened the box, a chill instantly struck him. Everyone could vaguely see the frosty chi surrounding the box. Indeed, it was a genuine tier 4 top-grade martial art. Huang Qigan could not hold himself back any longer. He immediately shouted, 5,500 spirit stones. A tier 4 top-grade martial art would certainly help in his cultivation. Besides, the tier 5 top-grade martial art may not even exist. It could be a gimmick that the auction house had deliberately created to hype things up. Even if it really existed, it might not be suitable for him. If his cultivation was unsuccessful, then everything would be pointless. It was better to settle for the second best option. Most people present had the same thoughts as Huang Qigan. This also included Li Yunfei. He planned to go all out for this cultivation technique and shouted, 5,600 spirit stones. Guo Wen joined the bidding as well. However, he was a little worried because he did not bring a lot of spirit stones. Originally, he only wanted to join in the fun. He did not expect so many good things to be on auction. In other words, he was not well prepared. The gazes of the mercenary leaders met, creating crackling sparks. They were all determined to win. In the end, this cultivation technique was bought by Li Yunfei at the price of 7,000 spirit stones. Guo Wen and Huang Qiqian were so angry that they could only hit their chests and stomp their feet. Their only hope was that the subsequent items would be better. Ding! The host has successfully auctioned a tier 4 top-grade martial art, the Frost Sword Technique. Successfully triggered 1,000 times return. Obtained a high-grade tier 7 sword art, Frost Sword Manual. When Lin Mo heard the notification sound in his head, he instantly knew the Frost Sword Manual was something extremely powerful. Since he had just learned the Frost Sword technique before auctioning the article off, the two of them came hand in hand. The fourth item is a tier 3 top-grade black fish egg. Starting price is 2,000 low-grade spirit stones. Compared to the previous item, the black fish egg was rather lacking. It did not interest many people. Iron fish were creatures from the Black Water Lake in the ancient forest. Due to their personalities, they were very difficult to tame. Moreover, their habitats were very well hidden. Not many people had spotted an iron fish before. Needless to say, this was their first time seeing a black fish egg. Furthermore, they had no idea how to raise it. For a moment, those who were interested stared at the pitch-black fish egg on the tray until they forgot to bid. The fish egg was like black jade. Some might even think it was a piece decoration. No one has ever raised an iron fish before. Maybe you can tame it while it's still young. The iron fish are known for their bad temper. It wouldn't be easy to tame them even if they were young. I think it's better to just eat the egg. Besides, the egg makes a great tonic. If you have the means, you can add all kinds of herbs and boil them together with the egg. Everyone was discussing lividly. There were not many people who actually bid. After all, the practicality of the fish egg was not great. The group leaders were mostly satisfied with their items such as the chi essence pill and worry-free grass. They did not need the fish egg to replenish their strength. Hence, to avoid wasting spirit stones, they refrained from bidding this round. In the end, the black fish egg was bought by a merchant at the price of 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Ding! The host has successfully auctioned a tier 3 top-grade black fish egg. Successfully triggered 3,000 times return. Obtained a tier 6 top-grade lookout fish egg. So far, 4 items have appeared. The auction was coming to an end. Since the tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique had yet to make an appearance, the audience could not sit still. What's going on? Where's the tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique? Do you have it or not? Did you trick us into coming here? You probably only have the tier 4 cultivation technique. In order to attract more people, you lied and said it's tier 5. Wu Jin tried his best to calm the crowd down, but it was to no avail. In fact, he was not too confident about the article in question either. Lin Mo had yet to bring it out. It might not even exist in the first place. At this moment, Lin Mo walked up to the stage and whispered to Wu Jin. Everyone, please calm down. We understand how you feel. The next item will be auctioned by the owner of this auction house himself. Ads by Pub Future. After Wu Jin said that, Lin Mo was in charge. The latter slowly took out a venerable-looking box. This box looked even more ancient than the one before. There were mysterious carvings on it. They looked like totems and symbols. There also seemed to be an image of a dragon and an elephant. In an instant, the noisy crowd became silent. They stared at the box attentively. There was indeed something extraordinary about this box. The box was even emitting a powerful aura. Whatever that was stored inside, it must be really incredible. Everyone subconsciously held their breaths. It was so quiet that even the sound of a needle dropping on the ground could be heard. As Lin Mo opened the box, the sound of a dragon's roar could be heard. It was so loud that it caused everyone's spirits to shake. Pale-colored gas rose from the box to the top. Then, it began to take the shape of elephants with long tusks. The gas elephants charged toward the crowd menacingly. This caused the people sitting in the front row to involuntarily lean back. They were scared that they would be trampled by the herd of elephants. However, since the elephants were made of gas, they dispersed after a short while. The fifth item up for auction, a tier 5 top-grade martial art, Dragon Elephant Fist Technique. Starting price is 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. The audience's expressions were almost in sync. Their mouths were agape as they stared at Lin Mo. They were unable to recover from the shock. There really was a top-grade tier 5 cultivation technique. Wu Jin and Uncle Wang were equally surprised. Lin Mo was telling the truth after all. This was not merely a gimmick. Uncle Wang knew that Lin Mo was robbed, so he did not expect the latter to have such a good item on him. His respect for Lin Mo had risen to a whole new level. I must get my hands on that cultivation technique. 15,000 low-grade spirit stones. This sudden call for a price grabbed everyone's attention. For a moment, the audience went crazy and began bidding non-stop. The price rose higher and higher. Even though the price was several times higher than the previous items, not many people backed out. The crowd was full of enthusiasm. A top-grade cultivation technique was extremely rare. Some people might not be able to attain one their entire lives. The crowd got even more heated. Many people's eyes were bloodshot. Even the veins on their foreheads were popping out. They were hysterical. It almost looked like they were going to fight. Ads by Pub Future. This was basically the climax of the auction. It was insane. Of course, there were rich cultivators in the crowd. However, they could not be compared to the leaders of the mercenary groups. After all, they had an entire gang backing them up. 22,000 spirit stones. Everyone was annoyed at Huang Keegan's bid, but there was nothing they could do. Their eyes got even redder due to the anger. The treasure was within their reach. If only they had the money. Li Yunfei could not help but sigh. In the end, we still lost to the wolf mercenary group. Meanwhile, Guo Wen was astonished. He did not expect to find so many good items on auction in this small village. Even a top-grade tier 5 cultivation technique was available. It was a pity that he did not bring enough money today. However, on second thought, he had already gained a lot from this trip. Guo Wen comforted himself by thinking, perhaps there would be another opportunity next time. Upon seeing that no one else was bidding, Huang Qigan's face lit up. His patience had paid off. If he had bid on the previous items, he would not be able to obtain the tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique so easily. With the Dragon Elephant Fist technique, Huang Qigan's strength would definitely increase exponentially. He might even be able to use it to fight against a level 7 expert. It was not impossible. In the end, tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique was sold to Huang Qigan for 22,000 spirit stones. There was no notification from the system. As the rule stated, item obtained from the system that was auctioned would not be counted. Although he was well aware, Lin Mo still felt a little disappointed. Despite that, Lin Mo had obtained many spirit stones. So, he felt like he did not lose out. Our auction has come to a successful conclusion. Don't feel discouraged if you did not get your desired item. There will be another tier 5 article in the next auction. As for whether it's martial arts or medicinal herbs, please come and see for yourself. Lin Mo turned around and left after leaving a cliffhanger. Even though the auction had already ended, the enthusiasm of the crowd still did not die down. This trip was not a waste at all. I actually got to see a tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique. As expected, the people from the Lin family are really different. With such a large sum of money and so many good items, their younger generation is indeed formidable. I think the biggest winner today is the Wolf Mercenary Group. With a tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique, they'll soon become the strongest force in Chuxin village. By the time everyone had dispersed, it was already midnight. Uncle Wang recorded the earnings. His face was full of excitement. Young Master Lin Mo, we've successfully auctioned off 5 items and earned a total of 44,000 spirit stones. That's roughly equivalent to the entire foundation of an ordinary mercenary group. Uncle Wang was rather shocked when he saw this number. His hands even trembled. He had never seen so many spirit stones in his entire life. On the other hand, Lin Mo was a little calmer. This was only the beginning. In the future, he would definitely earn more. The more resources he had, the more items he could auction off. Then, the system would hand out more rewards. As things snowballed, he would grow stronger and stronger. At that time, he would be able to obtain top-grade spirit stones effortlessly. Ads by Pub Future. Upon seeing Lin Mo's calm expression, Uncle Wang suddenly felt ashamed of himself. Nonetheless, his heart was filled with respect for the former. Uncle Wang, continue to collect items for the upcoming auction. I don't want anything below tier 3. For items above tier 4, buy them even if they cost a large sum of money. I'll be cultivating for the next few days. Don't disturb me if there's nothing urgent. Lin Mo had his own goals. He wanted to raise the quality of the auction house bit by bit. Furthermore, he would not reject any visitors. If they could attend, it meant they had money. This way, Lin Mo could earn a lot of spirit stones. After giving his instructions, Lin Mo once again went to the secluded place behind the auction hall and began cultivating. This time, he received 4 items from the system. They were the Worry-Free Fruit, Lookout Fish Egg, Chaos Pill, and Frost Sword Manual. Lin Mo immediately chose to refine the Worry-Free Fruit. The entire fruit floated in midair and its emerald green color made it look like a high-quality jade. Through the light, one could see the plump and juicy flesh of the fruit. Then, as if it was being pulled by some unknown power, the fruit slowly entered Lin Mo's body. Extremely pure energy flowed through his extraordinary meridians and Lin Mo was enveloped by an exuberant aura. Every single one of Lin Mo's meridians was being nurtured by the aura of life. He felt like he had been reborn. The spiritual energy within his body was like a surging tide, rising at an extreme speed. In an instant, Lin Mo leveled up to level 6. Lin Mo felt like he had opened the door to a new world, a realm where nobody had reached before. The energy within his body became orderly. As if an invisible large hand had appeared, it guided them towards a certain point. The massive amount of spiritual energy formed a whirlpool. It continuously absorbed and purified all matters. Faint light spots floated in the air. They gathered together before condensing into the shape of a small stone cube. This was the sign of a successful foundation establishment. Although the stone cube was very small, it contained the purest and most powerful energy. An ancient aura appeared from the bottom of the stone cube. Seemingly, a mysterious existence had been awakened. A pure golden color spread out throughout the entire area. It was filled with excellence, nobility, and greatness. An ordinary person's stone cube would be white in color. Lin Mo was different because he had a god-slaying body. His body allowed him to absorb the purest energy, thus, creating the golden cube. This was also an indication of his powerful abilities. Ads by Pub Future. Sigh, the progress is still a little slow. Perhaps the resources collected at Chuxin village are becoming less and less useful. If anyone heard Lin Mo's words, they would probably be angered to death. Only a few days ago, Lin Mo was still at level 1. Not only did he jump to the 6th rank in a short period of time, but he had also successfully built his foundation. A normal person would not be able to catch up with him even if they took a rocket. Even the world's most renowned genius would take an entire month. Lin Mo's speed was clearly abnormal. Suddenly, Lin Mo felt a strange life force fluctuation. It came from none other than the lookout fish egg. He took it out to have a look. There were faint ripples on the surface of the white fish egg. It seemed like there was an actual small fish swimming in there. The system did not provide much information about the fish egg. It was only said that the fish could swim in the wind. Nonetheless, the fish egg was still a tier 6 top grade item. It's likely to be strong. With a tap of Lin Mo's fingertip, milky white spiritual energy slowly flowed out. It was mixed with a faint golden glow. The spiritual energy quickly entered the fish egg. Lin Mo was unsure if he had mistaken, but the ripples on the surface of the fish egg appeared to be even more obvious. He allocated a portion of his life force to the lookout fish egg. Next, he only needed to wait for the fish egg to hatch. After that, Lin Mo continued to cultivate his frost sword technique. Coincidentally, the frost sword manual came in handy. The two complemented each other and an amazing power was unleashed. The outcomes were divided into 3 stages. A small success, great success, and perfection. Lin Mo was very lucky because both the technique and manual's attributes were compatible. His cultivation went even smoother than the dragon elephant fist technique. As Lin Mo trained, the temperature around him became lower and lower. However, it did not seem to affect him. A few days later, pale blue ice crystals formed around Lin Mo. The ground was covered with a thin layer of ice. It almost felt like winter. From afar, it looked like he was wrapped in a gigantic ice cocoon. Rumble. There was a loud bang and countless ice crystals were shattered. A vertical light shot up into the sky and countless snowflakes scattered everywhere. At the same time, every single crystal was covered with chi. Lin Mo slowly opened his eyes. His gaze was cold and an icy aura surrounded him. It almost felt like he was the god of ice and snow. All his senses were sharper than ever, as though he was a sword. The air was also filled with killing intent. In just 5 days, he had already trained to the great success stage. Even if Lin Mo was to meet a level 7 expert, he could face them without any issues. At the same time, the lookout fish egg had also hatched.